southwestern corner. 23 there for Hong Kong, a little bit of cloud around, but not too bad. Then it's looking pretty wet once again into the Philippines. A further chance of some flooding rains to come just around Luzon, where it has been horribly wet over the last few days. Not too bad across Indochina, on the other hand. We will see some cloud making its way back into Vietnam, but I think should stay largely dry. Staying largely dry too across much of South Asia. You push up into the far north, we have got more snow coming in just around the northern sections of India. Chance of some showers to come for Sri Lanka, but by and large it should be dry.
People talk about televising the revolution. It's tweeting the revolution, Facebooking the revolution, videotaping the revolution.
A new world driven by new media.
This is a very peculiar moment in media history.
Nobody can force me in 2011 to watch whatever I don't want to watch.
Analyzing the media's role in shaping modern history. The Listening Post, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back. You're watching Al Jazeera. The latest from the conflict in Libya. Pro-Gaddafi forces have launched a new attack on the opposition-held city of AlJazeera, 50 kilometers west of Tripoli. A witness in the city has told Al Jazeera of heavy shelling and gunfire and rising casualties as the Libyan forces moved in. We've just got an unconfirmed report that government tanks have now withdrawn and pro-Gaddafi troops are shelling the city with artillery fire. Anti-government fighters say the town of Ras Lanuf is quiet after they won control on Friday. These pictures were taken before rebels fought to take the oil port. It's halfway between Benghazi and Tripoli. In Tripoli itself, tear gas and rubber bullets were used to break up an anti-Gaddafi protest after Friday prayers, but a rally by the leader's supporters went on all afternoon. Well, Libya relies heavily on imports, and food distribution is becoming a serious problem. As Tim Friend reports, Gaddafi's forces have been accused of withholding food from rebel-held areas.
Not guns or missiles, but food. And in a protracted conflict in Libya, it could determine the outcome more crucially than any conventional weapon. Here in rebel-held AlJazeera, the baker, Agu Fakri, reveals that the use of food as a weapon by Gaddafi supporters has already begun.
Obviously, there's no stock of flour left. We had a small quantity coming from Tripoli, but it was taken back. We saw it on TV being brought as far as Sirte. We saw that the leader said the flour could come to the east, and then the flour was turned back by those highway bandits of his.
The World Food Programme is calling for urgent and safe access to Libya after a ship carrying vital food aid was unable to dock at the port city of Benghazi on the Mediterranean coast due to security concerns. The WFP has launched an emergency operation costing more than $39 million to provide much-needed food aid for Libyans inside the country and those who fled into neighbouring Tunisia and Egypt.
We were getting reports from those crossing the border into Tunisia just earlier this week about food being used as a potential weapon. We heard that some of Gaddafi's supporters were trying to deny some of the rebels food in certain areas. I mean, if they see any food trucks coming in, they may be able to stop them. And this is the last thing we want to see, of course, because food should be available to everybody.
Libya relies on food imports. A staggering 90% of all food supplies come from abroad. Many foreign workers are employed in farming and food production, but with migrants fleeing in their thousands, food supplies are suffering. But it's not only food. In 2000, more than a quarter of the population did not have access to safe drinking water. Global food prices have already reached new highs this year and could suffer the impact of further oil price spikes amid turmoil in Libya and the Middle East. Skyrocketing food prices were among the triggers for protests in Egypt and Tunisia. And once again, they're playing a central role in revolution. Tim Friend, Al Jazeera.
A German prosecutor says the man suspected of shooting dead 2 US Air Force members at Frankfurt Airport on Wednesday could have killed more people if his gun hadn't jammed. 21-year-old Arid Uka has been charged with 2 counts of murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. The prosecutor says Uka's gun jammed with 6 rounds still in the magazine.
He held the pistol directly in front of the third soldier's head and pulled the trigger twice in order to kill him. But the pistol didn't fire, as 1 bullet casing got stuck in the mechanism of the gun, so this soldier wasn't injured. As the accused realized his gun was no longer working, he escaped, but was followed by the soldier and overpowered and apprehended by both him and federal police officers.
A man accused of a mass shooting in the US state of Arizona could be executed. Prosecutors in Phoenix have expanded their indictments against Jared Loughner. This will start a review to determine if he should be executed. The 22-year-old was already charged with the attempted murder of US Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords and the murders of 5 other people. The US-based advocacy group, the Council on American Islamic Relations, has published a video of an anti-Muslim protest at a fundraising event in California last month. Muslim residents say the demonstration has raised fears in their community. Rob Reynolds reports now from Yorba Linda in California's Orange County.
Anti-Muslim protesters hurl insults and abuse at people attending an Islamic charity fundraiser in Yorba Linda, California. The February 13th incident is seen by area Muslims as new and disturbing evidence of Islamophobia among some sections in America's right-wing Tea Party movement. Shahid Hussein took his family to the charity event.
This is the first time in America I get scared for my children.
They're saying go back home and get out of our country and all that.
Makes me feel that I'm like, no, I don't belong here, and I'm not wanted.
What was perhaps most disturbing for the people who were here that night was learning that an elected public official at the protest rally appeared to be calling for violence against Muslims.
I don't even care if you think I'm crazy anymore.
That's Deborah Pauley, a Republican and member of the nearby Villa Park City Council.
I know quite a few Marines who will be very happy to help these terrorists to an early meeting in paradise.
Conservative Tea Party activists who organized the protest say it was meant to condemn the presence of speakers at the fundraiser, including Siraj Wahhaj. U.S. prosecutors had linked Wahhaj to the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, but he was never charged and has denied any involvement.
We are here to declare that radical Islam, Sharia, is not welcome in our communities.
Lugo and others at the rally have tried to distance themselves from the more outspoken protesters.
None of the organizers knew who any of them were.
25-year-old Maheen Siddiqui attended the fundraiser.
It was really scary because at one point they started banging on the windows when people were praying, banging the walls with their shoes.
But she says she and others in the community will not be intimidated.
Just because I'm a Muslim doesn't make me any less American.
Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, Yorba Linda, California.
Doubt has been cast over allegations of spying at the French car maker Renault. The company's chief operating officer says an espionage complaint filed in January may have been false. The company believes it may